What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another Rant, Rave, and what really pisses me off as a historian. But at the same time, it's kind of a mourning day today. Now, we all learned about the tragic events that happened in Tumbler Ridge, BC, with the trans shooter, born a male, and was a female, going through therapies, and decided to shoot up, kill 9 people, and injured 25. Killed his own mother and his brother, and then eventually killed himself. Because what was he? He was a transsexual. And the amount of transsexuals and trans people that have actually been shooting up schools and shooting up places and public events in the last how many years have amplified. It's kind of amazing, like, is this a mental illness? Yes. Alright, it is a mental illness. If you can't accept the concept of who you are, what you're born with, and you want to change it, why do we live in a... Now, as a historian, change is inevitable. But when it comes to science and biology, what you are is what you are. Now, it's a mental illness. It's a mental disease, and it should be eradicated. And I'm not, I know a few people that flirted with the idea. Why is this an issue in society today? Why is it? Throughout the course of human history, the concept of transsexuals, during Roman times and Greek times and even Egyptian times, Mesopotamian times, they didn't even know back in ancient history, throughout the course of human history in different parts, periods, and areas, people dressed up as girls. You got to remember, even during the Shakespeare play, they didn't allow women to actually act as women characters. They got men to dress up as ladies to perform. Oh, look, it's King Lear's wife. Oh, hey, looks like a dude, right? Macbeth, Lady Macbeth was dressed as a woman, but played by a man. These are cross-dressers. They're not really transsexuals. The idea of trying to change for your biological being, right? There it goes back to one of my episodes in theology and history when I talked about the Tower of Babel, okay? For the love of God and for our Lord Savior, rebellion. You're rebellion against who God created you. As a male or as a female, you can't accept that. It is out of proportion, okay? It is out of this world. I gotta rebel. He made a mistake, and I'm sorry. That's my baby girl right there. Well, it's not my baby girl. That's my daughter. But this is my girl. She's my kitty. She's one of my kitties. She's a good kitty. But you know what? She doesn't think she's a dog. She acts and behaves as a cat because she was born a cat. Alright? So, a lot of people like to say this, and I'm not going to be very nice about it. Alright? For the victims, innocent people, children, that never even got to experience anything in life much. They experienced a lot in life, but they never got to go out there and experience the fullness of a life. And we're taken away from this guy that had a mental illness, because chances are, yeah, you think people are going to argue maybe he was bullied or whatever. But hell, bullying creates character. And the way I look at it as a historian, at this event that happened in Tumbler Ridge, BC, in the past day, is basically, why is it these libtards and these woke morons, these millennial, dumbfounded idiots, alright? Why is it we live in a world, in this part of the world, why is the West such a pot of shit? And why is Canada like that? Liberalism is so inbred, like I always mention, it's inbred. Alright, you got albino liberalism today. It's a mental illness. Everybody likes to use an excuse as it's a disease or it's a mental illness. And if that's the case, why would you want a disease? Why would you want to be mental unstable? Why wouldn't you want to be functioning as a normal human being and do everything you possibly can to make that happen. Why did people give up? In my personal opinion, there's more weak people in our society today than there ever was before. You know, at one time, the dumb people died off. Oh, that's harsh. Well, that's reality. And most people today can't handle reality. Alright, they're going to hit the needle. They're going to hit the pipe. They're going to hit the fucking booze bottle. They just can't handle what happened to them. Those people are weakly established. Now, throughout the course of human history, we're all going to have our problems, but it's how you deal with your problems. It's how you healthily or in a healthy way diminish those problems. I had a lot of things happen in my life. It was just devastating to me as an individual, but I didn't decide to go out and, you know what? It sucks being a man. Yeah, it does. But I ain't going to change my fact that I'm going to be turned into a woman. Alright, I was born a man. This is what God gave me. This is what nature gave me. Doesn't matter what you believe. This is what you are. You're born that way. Now, we all have dealt with shitty cards. Now, it depends how you play them. Sure, luck plays a lot of that, but you can tell those people to F off. And if you don't know as much history as I do, you realize luck plays a lot on the battlefield. You know, any general will say that luck does play on the battlefield. You can plan it out, but it ain't going to plan as you planned it out. Communism looks great on paper, doesn't it? But in reality, it doesn't work. Most people love to live in a fantasy world nowadays, especially trannies. It's a mental illness. You know what a mental illness is? Can anybody just liberate, or just tell me what a mental illness is? You know, and some people say, well, it's a disease. It is those things. But even if it is those things, it's like the whole pandemic of smallpox and measles starting to bust out in the country. Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen. How many times do we have to prove that vaccinations work? Because at one time we never had measles in this country for how long? Because everybody got vaccinated. Then you have these conspiracy theories, these drug-fueled people that are so steeped and overdosed on liberal woke-tard ideologies that they can't even think straight. Because they live in a fantasy world. Where in reality is not that bad, folks. You know, if you're born a man or you're born a girl, it's not that bad. Deal with what you got. It's pretty easy. I can't say it in my entire life. I woke up and were like, you know what? I want to be a woman. Why does these people want to be a woman? These are weak men. Weak men. Weak. Very non-conventional men. Very not conservative men. Alright? They blame it on everything else. And the problem is there's a lot of things that do affect and you can blame on someone else. But the majority of the problems, I'm going to say about 60% of the time, it's not your fault. For instance, I'll give you a simple example. You go to a job. You pass in the resume. You did you. You tried, didn't you? Didn't you? You passed your resume in. But it's not up to you now, is it, to get the job? You did what you did. You thought you did your best on that resume. Whatever it was, you passed it in. It's not up to you, is it? Now, if you don't get the job, it's not your fault. It's just not recommended for you. It's not what they're looking for, right? Who knows why? But it's not your fault. Can you blame the employee? And when you're damn well know certain, it's like, I'm qualified for that job, and I can do that job, but you got this guy? What? Then you can start questioning, like, yeah, okay, that's their fault. When the government taxes you to pieces, is that your fault? Well, technically it is. Don't be bitch about it. You might as well leave the country. But you want to stay here because you're a patriot. So what are you going to do? Fight against the government. It's the government's fault. They're the ones taxing me. Correct. So you want to obey the law. You want to be a law-abiding citizen, so you don't want to invade your taxes. So, see how it's all one big circle of bullshit? And you can keep going and going and going? Well, this guy that decided to shoot up a school and to kill his own mom, his own mother and his own brother. That was even a step too far. And you look at this guy and you're like, yeah, there's a problem. He's got woke tart on him. And I really don't rest his soul. I know for a fact most people, he will burn in hell. In my personal beliefs, he will be sent to hell. For the suffering that he did upon other people and for his mental illness. I have issues. Well, go deal with the issues. There's always healthy alternatives. It's funny how human nature and the Bible is proven straight out all the time that people like to rebel against good things and always take the easiest, stupidest alternative, which is rebellion against what is righteous and what is right. It proves it all the time. I know people that steal from each other all the time. They steal from each other. There's no morality here because they still hang out. There's no righteousness. There's no, I'm standing my ground. There's no confidence. There's nothing there. You rob from me, I rob from you. We have a dispute, we dispute, and blah, blah, blah. And back together, we're drinking buddies at the bar again. Really? And you do it all over. The cycle just continues. And that, my friends, is called morons, libtards, and the most stupidest people you ever come across. Now, and they say they got mental illnesses. It's a disease. Transgender is a disease. The alphabet people is a disease. Now, when it comes to gays, well, that's something else. Okay? I don't mind gays. They can choose what they want to do. It's not really a disease or mental illness. Because most of the time, they're mostly born with it. The ones that are not born with it, the ones I have to question as mental illness. And like any mental illness, you will seek treatment. If it's a disease, wouldn't you want treatment? I love when people use that as an excuse. Well, it's a disease. I can't stop. Well, like any disease, if you got cancer, I expect you to have cancer and die with it. And don't ever seek treatment. Or if you had Ebola, or if you had any other disease on this planet, I expect those people to sit there and die. Oh, my addictions and my demons is my disease. Well, okay, you continue with it because you didn't want treatment for that. But as soon as you get something at a hit of reality and all of a sudden you want treatment, well, that does indicate that that disease and that disease are two different things. I guess stop calling it a disease then. Because if you got cancer, you're going to seek treatment. And for those people, I'm going to say, well, you shouldn't seek treatment because it's a disease. You've been with alcoholism for 20 years. You call it a disease, a mental illness. You never sought any treatment. And when you did, wasn't long. Very, very short-lived for those people. And something comes up, it's like, I need to try. Well, I don't expect you to. See the similarities here? Now, this guy that decided to shoot up everybody, it's not a good way of actually dealing with it. But he was on his treatment since I think a lot of reports say he was like 15 years old for the last 4 or 5 years. He wanted to become a woman. And all liberals are going to say is pretty much about the guns. Right? Now, here's the thing. I'm a gun enthusiast. I believe that everyone should have guns and have the ability to have guns. Alright? You can put guns in good people's hands, but you could also put guns in bad people's hands. This is reality. Alright? Take alcohol, for instance. You can make alcohol and even weed. Oh, I gotta get that about. Oh, pissed me off. Wallet in my pocket. Okay? You could take weed and alcohol and legalize it. Now, I like to say it's thinning of the herd. Most people consume alcohol pretty responsibly. Way more people than recreational drugs. That usually does not go a very low percentage responsibly or recreationally, not compared to alcohol. All right? But even when you legalize both, I don't drink. I don't smoke weed. I could. It's legal. Doesn't mean it's right. Think about Nazi Germany beating the hell out of Jews and it was law. Didn't mean it was right. What is right and what is wrong, right? I'm not an alcoholic, but a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm a pothead. Oh yeah, I'm a weed head. Oh yeah, I'm a heavy drinker, love to party, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, those people are weak. You give them it shows the weak people of society. All right, the people that take advantage, the people that just self-destruct, right? And that's why when you have this, I ain't gonna be kind or lighthearted about it. It's almost like thinning the herd, right? You can help these people, but there's only so much you can do, but they gotta help themselves. You can give them everything they need to help themselves, but if they don't take it, then you can't really help them. But some people are, you can't really give up on them. Like my girl here. She is called Stormtrooper. I call her Trooper and my girl. Hey, my girl. Hey. Hey, my girl. But anyway, she's a beautiful girl. So, she's very cautious. So, it's a very tragic event. How this is, the liberals are going to say, well, it's the guns. We got to take away guns. We're going to buy them back or whatever. No. Same as liquor. You might as well give that back. Right? You might as well give drugs back. Smokes and everything else that we enjoy in life. Alright? You can put them there. It's like, I'm a smoker. Alright? And that's my fault. That's no one else's fault. I actually enjoy smoking, and I've quit quite a few times. At least 4 times in my life. And I know I can do it again. And when I get in the right environment, I can do it. Certain things I need to do before I can quit. It's weird. But I know one thing: I can wake up every morning and be like, you know what? I got a balls and I got a dick. I'm a man. I got to find a hole to stick it in. Right? When I get up in the morning. Right? So, I don't have to worry about, man, it would be nice to have a set of titties. I could play with them all the time. But I really don't, I'm not a girl. Right? It's one thing I can wake up every morning realizing, yeah, I'm not a tranny. At least a lot of other major disaster things happen in my life, but I can wake up every morning and be thankful I'm not a tranny. And why in the world would I think like that? I love women so much, but I wouldn't want to be one. How much women do you love? I love women so much that I want to be one. Yeah, you got a problem. I love cats so much, but it doesn't mean I don't want to be a cat and have a litter box and take a shit in the middle of a corner and pile it. Come on. Right? People are gone insane nowadays. Will there be more of these events, I hate to say, in the near future or the far future? Well, in the future in general. These events are going to happen. If history teaches us anything, that's exactly what's going to happen. The thing I love about it all is just to see what the middle-class liberals, the high-class liberals, decide to do. And especially Mark Carney and his lovely shit cabinet. Right? We got to take guns away. Now, I think this event is going to fuel more for Alberta separatism. And I am for Alberta separatism, and I want to go move back to Alberta. I loved Alberta, and the strong and the free. And I loved Alberta. There's things, I'm not going to lie, I didn't like about Alberta, but the majority I loved. And I felt at home in Alberta. More at home than I have ever been in my home, town, and province. So, I found the place in my own country was almost like my Garden of Eden, my Russia, alright, in my own country. And everything in Alberta is what stands for, I totally am for. And I don't waver on a lot of things. I only waver on things is when I have a bunch of historical evidence and scientific evidence, or whatever the case may be, that, well, this is the truth, and what I was doing and what I was following was a lie. I gotta change my ways. Or if I don't, I'll probably develop a mental illness. So, now our hearts actually should go out and pray for these people in Tummel Ridge and these families. I can't. The saddest thing about these, a lot of these are kids in their teens. You know, if you're going to be in that state, just shoot yourself. Don't take anybody with you. Just shoot yourself. You know? The good thing about it, I have to say, is this guy's burning in hell. He's going to be sitting in front of God. Judgment. I pity his soul. He'll be welcomed in hell to be tortured for eternity. All I can say about this is that shooter, I have no remorse for this transsexual. I was born a male, but I can identify as a female. It's almost like a slap to your parents. It's a slap to God. It's a slap to society. It's a slap to everybody. It's rebellion. Back to the Tower of Babel, right? The first sin was rebellion against God. There was no fear of God. But, either or, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's been interesting enough that events in this country. And we have not seen a tragic event like this in this country for a while. Well, not really, but not since Vancouver. Or other places. But it is the third most deadliest shooting in this country. And when it comes to Canadian history, I don't really keep up with that, but I know a few people do study that stuff, and that's what they recommended me to, which I take the word for it as Canadian historians of that part of Canadian history. Crime, tragic events. But, I mean, still a tragic event was voting in Trudeau years ago, and more tragic than that, catastrophic is voted him in again, and just revelation, biblical prophecy of apocalypse when we did it the third time and have Mark Carney. This is up there with that. So, I can't justify my beliefs. Is I don't have any sympathy much for people that do this. Is trannies, like, I will accept them as a person. I will accept them as who they are, but I'm not going to agree with what they are. It's called being an adult and civilized. You have people that are liberal conservative. They should be able to live with each other, duke out their ideals, and still go to the bar and have a drink. But when it comes down to it, my own personal beliefs, even as a historian, I'm going to tell you right now, trannies is a mental illness. It's a disease that needs to be eradicated and fixed and treated and out of our schools, out of our media. If all that was eliminated, if there was no influence at all, any of the 5 spheres of influence in a person's life, and they came to me, and they came, you know what, I feel like all this time since I was born, I know this sounds crazy, but no one else talks about this, but I feel like I'm a girl, trapped in a man's body. Then I could say it was legit. But with the amount of social media and educational influence out there by the liberals, libtards, woke morons, extreme leftist idiots, it has a lot of impact on children today. And our children's our future. Keep that shit out of the schools. Keep that shit out of social media. Keep that shit away from easily influenced individuals such as children. As we know as adults, we were there too, and we knew how we were influenced. I changed a lot of my influences when I was a teen and became an adult because I became a little bit more, I don't know, civilized, educated, self-aware of my surroundings and environment and what was going on in the world. And besides my addiction to knowledge. But that's pretty much my drug. My drug is history, and knowledge in general. But my major, when I like to overdose all the time, is pretty much history. But until next time on this Rant and Rave, I'm not 100% pissed on this one. But I'm going to tell you this one. Smack a libtard. But chances are the libtard's going to go for her guns and going to say it's the gun's fault. It's not the trans issue mental illness that this guy had. They're going to go away for guns. A lot of people out there, I remember growing up, we had guns. I don't know how many times I went hunting with my brother, hunting with my cousins, hunting with my uncles, hunting by myself with a gun. Doing that and target practice. You know, never thought of like shooting up the place. You know, it gave us that bond going hunting. Just like a fish, what are they going to do? Take our fishing poles next? I swear, if someone went with a fishing pole and stabbed someone, we're going to have to put a check on fishing poles, especially those 6-footers, those fly rods, because they can whip people. That would be a libtard. Alright? They blame everybody else, but the thing is, they never look at themselves. Look at yourself first before you blame others. Once you look at yourself and you determine that, okay, I'm good. So that means it's you. Not you personally, but whatever you're going against. But who knows what's going to be in the world or in the news in the next week. But until next time, slap a libtard, punch a woke moron, and most importantly, trip face first any extreme leftist you come across. But until next time, this is the Rant and Rave of Johnny the Historian. Until next time, comment, like, share, whatever. It's up your God gave us free will. You just proved it when you don't. Tells me that that's the free will that you did not do this. So, free will. You proved the Bible. So did this guy. Unfortunately, in a worst case scenario. But, to the victims, pray for them. Keep them in your thoughts. And keep them in your prayers. But him, the shooter, don't. He's burning in hell. That's where he should be. But, and he's going to think forever on what he have done. Because of his, and who is he going to blame, I wonder. I wonder if he was still alive, who he'd be, this guy or this girl or this tranny would blame. Love to know. But it'd be kind of funny to find out because he would sound so liberal, so woke, it would make you puke. And keep that shit out of schools. Keep that shit off social media. Especially towards kids. That kind of stuff. Introduce them to that. If this is the case. To find a mediocre middle ground when they're an adult. Then they can decide. Even then, they'll probably have a mental illness or a disease. Until next time, keep it real. Slap a libtard and be a man about it.